survival. I've done it all my life, and despite the critics, I'm still here.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Fear the Walking Dead moments.
But it is something to hear your voice after a bit. Just saying words. Platypus.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best, most heartbreaking, and memorable scenes from this apocalyptic show. Since we'll be talking notable deaths and triumphs from seasons 1 through 6, a huge spoiler alert is in effect. What do you think is the most iconic Fear the Walking Dead moment? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, opening sequence.
Whoa.
A few years after we saw Rick Grimes woke up in hell on Earth, we watched Nick Clark go through a frighteningly similar scenario. After waking up in a stupor alone in a church, Nick looks for his girlfriend Gloria. He becomes more desperate when he sees a man has died in a gruesome way. When Nick finally finds Gloria, he discovers that she's turned into a hungry member of the undead horde. He flees the scene as fast as he can before he's hit by a car. This sequence was beautifully shot, well-paced, and gave us a hint of what to expect. We were about to watch a normal world be suddenly thrown into chaos.
I didn't even see him.
Number 19. Daniel leads the horde.
I found the place he spoke of, with the dead inside. It's close to their base. You can use it.
We don't think anyone would mess with Daniel Salazar or his allies if they'd heard about what he did at the start of the apocalypse. After his wife Griselda is taken away by the National Guard, he decides to pay their facility a visit. Daniel also brings along a ton of undead friends.
I don't want to have to shoot you, old man.
You should save your ammunition.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All the soldiers immediately fly into a panic as the infected swarm their base. The way Daniel casually led a horde to someone's doorstep without freaking out showed that he had nerves of steel. After this memorable moment, we knew Daniel had what it took to survive in a world full of undead.
I led them to the north gate. So all the soldiers are distracted. We can go now.
Number 18, a couple's last dance.
Martha? Are you all right?
During an episode's cold open, a man named Russell discovers that his wife Martha has become a member of the Walking Dead and is ready to attack.
My love.
Although she tries to bite him, her lack of dentures makes it impossible. Russell decides to take advantage of that fact and dance with his wife one last time. A few moments later, he ends both their lives with a gun. They proceed to fall to the ground, knock over a lamp, and set a fire that makes their neighbors pay attention. Russell and Martha's tragic story was incredibly compelling and emotional. The writers managed to tell a brilliant tragedy in just a few short minutes.
Martha and Russ are dead now, aren't they?
Number 17. John executes the San Antonio split.
My talent's more favored than trick shooting exhibition.
Former lawman John Dory is one of the best marksmen in the entire Walking Dead franchise. He gave us an excellent demonstration of his shooting skills when he visited Humbug Gulch. When two walkers start approaching an injured Dwight, John and June realize that they only have one bullet.
I got one left.
John calmly and coolly tells his fallen ally to raise the axe he's holding. The gunman shoots the weapon so the sole bullet splits and takes out two walkers at once. Although this incredible trick shot may seem like pure fiction, it has been pulled off in real life. It was awesome to see John use this slick San Antonio split shooting technique to save a life.
That's a San Antonio split.
Number 16. Liza reveals she's been infected.
Liza, what's wrong?
After fighting their way out of the military compound and reaching Strand's house, Liza brings Madison down by the water and shows her that she was bitten during the escape. Liza has no desire for her ex-husband Travis or son Chris to be the ones to take her out, so she asks Madison to be the one to end her. Unfortunately, Travis walks in on this conversation. Although he wants to save her, Liza says anyone who dies will come back as an infected.
Doesn't matter how you die, you come back.
Travis then decides to do the dark deed himself. The gunshot disrupts a peaceful moment for the rest of the survivors and establishes the grim tone and impossible choices the heroes will have to make. Number 15. Madison makes Troy see things her way.
You can just bring us here to drink tea and then let us go.
I'll convince him.
And what if that doesn't work?
Then I'll twist his arm, force him, make him do the right thing.
When Madison and Alicia find themselves locked in a room on an army base and separated from the rest of their family, they make an escape plan. When the devious leader Troy Otto re-enters the room, Madison attacks him. They struggle back and forth until she reaches for the most unlikely weapon, a spoon. She puts it uncomfortably close to Troy's eye and demands that she be taken to her family or he'll start looking a lot like Carl Grimes. Madison's brutal use of a spoon showed Troy and his allies that she wasn't messing around.
What did you do? You tell me what you did!
Ma'am. Please, let my brother go.
Only she could be badass enough to take complete control of a situation with a utensil we normally use for cereal.
Troy, we got hurt with her! Wait, you did not do that! I was saving her, Jake! So where's her family?
Number 14. Travis pulverizes a pit of infected.
Travis here is special, so treat him as such. Take him out back.
Although an ordinary survivor might panic after being thrown into a pit of walkers, Travis took the opportunity to show us what an incredible fighter he's become. He immediately creates distance and starts grabbing improvised weapons.
I think I can. I think I can. I don't think he can. I think he's dead even. I put money on it. How much? 20K?
Whenever Travis lost an advantage, he'd grapple, push, and punch infected until he found something new to use. We could feel his determination and fury as he took down every undead foe in his path. By the time Madison arrived to help him, Travis had already eliminated all threats. This fantastic fight scene proved that this warrior had come a long way from his days as an English teacher.
He tried to kill us.
We're safe, okay.
Number 13. Nick stops Jeremiah Otto's reign.
I'm truly sorry.
You're just making sure those bodies stay buried, huh?
The deeply prejudiced Jeremiah Otto made lots of enemies while building Broke Jaw Ranch up. Eventually, the cruel misdeeds he committed in the past are exposed. Madison tries to convince Jeremiah to sacrifice his own life to prevent his old enemies from starting a war with the ranch residents. But he refuses to heed her advice.
I didn't outlive Phil and Russell and two good women to die like some rabbit with no resistance.
Suddenly, Nick walks in and shoots Jeremiah mid-sentence. This shocking twist was extremely satisfying and a complete game changer for everyone at the ranch. Although we never expected the normally laid-back Nick to have taken down big bad Jeremiah, we and his family were grateful that he did.
But there has to be something, some line we don't cross.
Otherwise, we're just like Otto.
Number 12. John and June get married.
You do look good in green.
It's perfect.
I knew it would be. The moment I saw it in the costume shop.
Fear the Walking Dead has featured a good amount of well-earned romantic moments. Isabel's and Althea's kiss was powerful, full of passion, and a fantastic surprise. And Dwight's long-awaited reunion with Sherry was incredibly satisfying. To date, the most romantic moment of the series belonged to June and John. After going through hell to find each other again, they finally decided to make things official and get married.
I've loved you since the first day you washed up on my shore. You bet I do.
Dwight even donates his own rings to help them complete the beautiful ceremony. Their short and sweet wedding was an incredibly bright spot in the bleak apocalypse. Thanks to their love, all the survivors have a happy memory that will endure throughout all the darkness.
It's a broken world, but each union sees a little piece of everything set right.
Number 11. The end of Nick Clark.
Are you gonna try and talk me out of it?
No. But it is not going to work out how you think.
There have been many devastating deaths throughout Fear's run. Seeing Ophelia perish just before she could reunite with her father was nearly too much to bear. After this painful scene, viewers saw how Nick Clark lost his life. While he was still reeling from losing his new home and mother, he sees Ennis, one of the villains responsible for his misfortunes.
I didn't think I'd see you again.
Walk away.
Nick eliminates his foe with brutal prejudice before sitting down. Suddenly, Ennis ally Charlie appears and fatally shoots Nick. The audience is then forced to watch the hero they've known since the show's beginning perish amongst his family. To this day, the shot of Nick lying in a field of flowers after receiving his fatal injuries still brings a tear to our eyes. Number 10. Morgan eliminates the bounty hunter Emil.
A man named Morgan Jones.
Is Mr. Jones dead or alive?
I don't know.
You will soon.
Since Virginia never confirmed if Morgan had expired after she shot him, she sends a vicious bounty hunter named Emil after the hero. Her orders kick off a tense and suspenseful game of cat and mouse. Although Morgan is severely injured, he manages to stay ahead of the bounty hunter and take out walkers along the way. But the two eventually come face to face in a desperate and brutal clash.
Hey, I can't fight you. And what you came for, Virginia can have it. Long as you leave the other people here alone. This isn't a negotiation.
But when it looks like Morgan is done for, he turns the tables, lands a devastating blow, and picks up Emil's axe. After Morgan uses his enemy's weapon to finish the fight, he makes the sharp tool his own. He cements this incredibly badass victory by sending Virginia proof that he's still alive and Emil is now undead.
Morgan Jones is dead. And you were dealing with somebody else now.
Number 9. Alicia starts a fire to save her friends. Shortly after Alicia and her friends sneak into an underground society, they discover that they have a lot of potential enemies living beneath their feet.
You're the one who convinced me people were capable of doing more than saving their own skin.
We're not gonna get past them.
You have to.
Before the heroes can get to the surface, they get cornered by these new dangerous foes. The heroes catch a lucky break when they manage to find a room full of flammable embalming fluid. Alicia then offers to stay behind and start an inferno to keep their enemies at bay.
Let me do this.
Go! You need to get those masks to Morgan!
Alicia.
You said I made you believe people could do more? They can't.
Since this scene had a few parallels to the time Madison sacrificed herself to save her family, we were extremely worried about Alicia's choice. Fortunately, she managed to survive the inferno and get her friends to safety.
Now you gave yourself up so your friends could escape, is that right? They left you.
I made them.
Number 8. Travis avenges Chris.
Where's Chris? Where's my son? Come on, Brandon, tell me where he is.
Travis has desperately tried to stop his son Chris from going down a dark path. Unfortunately, the father could only watch as his child drove away with questionable allies named Brandon and Derek. Travis eventually makes his way to a hotel by himself. When Brandon and Derek show up at the same location without Chris, the usually composed and contemplative Travis begins to lose his cool. After lying about what happened, they eventually confess that they ended Chris after he was injured in a car accident.
All right, we put him down. We had to. We had to, man.
Travis completely loses himself and beats Brandon and Derek down until they're no longer breathing. The extremely violent nature of the rampage gave us one of the most haunting and unforgettable scenes in the entire show. Number 7. Strand sacrifices Sanjay.
What we need to do to survive this, I can't do it on my own.
Even before the apocalypse began, Strand was willing to do absolutely anything to stay alive and serve his own interests. He gave us a brutal reminder of this fact while he was eliminating walkers for Virginia. After a plan to take a horde of undead out goes south, he finds himself standing next to a cowardly man named Sanjay. Strand injures the frightened man and lets him get attacked by walkers to cause a distraction. When his allies ask what happened, we hear a cold lie.
I tried to stop him, but this is what he wanted. He did it for us.
Strand's dark sacrificial play was one of the most ruthless and memorable betrayals we've ever seen in this universe.
I have seen you do plenty of things you'd rather forget.
You haven't seen all of it. Because I've been wanting you to. I still don't.
Number 6. Alicia survives the hellish pantry.
Must be another way of getting air in here.
That vent is the only way. Without that.
We ran out of air.
Alicia's bad day started when she was trapped inside of a pantry that was slowly running out of oxygen with a bunch of members of her community. Things got sufficiently worse for her when many of them died and came back as undead enemies. In order to stay alive, Alicia had to take out all her enemies with limited resources all on her own. We were holding our breath during the entirety of her harrowing and incredibly sad struggle. It was only when she finally got back up that we were able to exhale. While we already knew Alicia was tough when she went into the pantry, this incredible scene showed us that she was stronger than we could have ever imagined.
What you've just been through, I can't even imagine. I'm not in shock. I'm seeing things more clearly now than I ever have.
Number 5, landing the plane.
Okay, you keep working on the plane. We'll just catch up to you as soon as we can.
7 episodes after a group of the main heroes survived a devastating plane crash, they were racing to get back into the skies to escape radioactive smoke. Although they managed to get away just in time, we were still worried about their landing. This is where the rest of the protagonists came in.
You think they'll see it from up there?
We'll know soon enough.
Daniel, Sarah, and Wendell risk a lot to outline a landing strip with Christmas lights. They come on just in time to help our skybound heroes get to safety. This leads to a heartwarming scene where characters reunite and celebrate a moment of pure triumph. Although the odds were stacked against them, our heroes made it out of an impossible situation and walked on safe ground again.
Daniel?
Number 4, Travis Falls.
How much longer? We're about 20 out.
Most of the show, Travis tried to be the moral compass of his group. His desire to do the right thing made his death all the more tragic. After being reunited with his family in the Season 3 opener, he and Alicia got on a helicopter. Within the first few minutes of Episode 1, their transport is hit with bullets.
We're taking fire! I know.
Travis is unfortunately wounded in the crossfire.
Travis, you're in shock. Just stay in your seat. Stop! Travis!
He decides to fall from the helicopter rather than risk turning and hurting Alicia. Not only was his death a major loss for the family, but it shocked audiences who thought he was a main character who couldn't die. Losing Travis meant the world and the show could never return to what it once was.
Where's he? He's not. No.
Number 3, June takes Virginia down. Near the end of Virginia's reign of terror, her daughter Dakota fatally shot John.
I saved your life, Virginia. Because of what you said about her, what she meant to you, and that is the only reason you are still breathing, and he isn't.
After his wife June found out, she was understandably not happy. She tried her best to accept what happened and move on, but after Virginia revealed that she let Dakota get away with other violent acts in the past, June snapped. Morgan's plans to let one of the most notorious fear big bads walk away disappeared in an instant. June couldn't stop herself from using John's gun to end Virginia's life.
I asked you a question before. June. Why did Dakota kill my husband? You said you didn't know. No. That wasn't true. It was you, Virginia. You're the reason.
This brutal decision created a rift between Morgan and June and brought a bittersweet end to this villain's plotline. While we were ecstatic that Virginia was gone, getting rid of her came at a high cost. Number 2, Nick blows up the dam. A complex and compelling series of betrayals, alliances, and pure bad luck led to 3 members of the Clark family and Strand being held at gunpoint on top of a dam. But the situation is turned on its head when Nick reveals he has a detonator that could destroy the structure beneath them.
Says it's armed.
Nick, don't touch the other button.
He was able to use the threat of the device to get his family to safety. Although he thought Nick was bluffing, he ends up triggering the explosion anyway. The resulting scene of destruction is breathtaking. Daniel arrives just in time to see the dam go. Although we weren't sure if everybody made it out alive, this was definitely an exciting way to conclude Season 3.
Descends to earth, take the
Hola.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Morgan finds hope after the nuclear missile launch.
See the missile? Well, it's going to re-enter the atmosphere, and it's got multiple warheads.
Longtime fans of the Walking Dead franchise are used to seeing villains come out on top at the end of the season, but we'd never seen heroes suffer a loss as devastating as Morgan and his allies did in the season 6 finale. After they failed to stop the insane cult leader Teddy from launching a nuclear missile, they all scramble to figure out what's next. While every character's story is memorable and compelling in their own ways, Morgan's story stood out.
Gotta make this happen.
We can't make it stop.
It's not over.
We don't know where all those warheads are gonna hit.
He and Grace were prepared to meet their ends.
I can too.
But after they hear a baby, they find and protect the child. This act of heroism gave us hope that our heroes could find brighter days after their devastating and unprecedented loss.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.